Hello, welcome to another wiki procedure on how to apply for a replacement of KCPE KCSE certificate. Below, we have given you a link, this link down here, that is going to navigate you to our wiki procedure page, where we have given you more information on how to go about with the application. In addition, we have given you external links to sites and application forms which are used for the application. We are going to visit these sites and take a look at the forms in the course of the presentation. So today we are going to go through the following items. We are going to look at the need of for the KCPE KCSE certificate, the eligibility, the required documents for the application, the steps to follow during the procedure, the fees applicable, the validity period of the certificates, the processing time used to make the application, the offices and contacts, and other information. So welcome to our presentation, and today's presentation is brought to you and sponsored by Wiki Procedures. Okay, now the need for the KCPE KCSE certificate. First of all, KCPE stands for Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, while KCSE stands for Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. Both these certificates are issued by the Kenya National Examination Council, which is the issuing body. And the need of the certificates are as follows. Number one, the certificates are proof that one has acquired the primary and secondary education in Kenya. Number two, the certificates are used when applying for admission to higher levels of education, for example, tertiary levels. For example, if you want to apply for a position in a secondary school, you need your KCPE certificate for primary education to apply for a position in the secondary school. And if you want to apply for a position in a tertiary level institution, you need your Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education to apply for a position in the tertiary institution, be it a college or a university. Number three, the certificates are used when applying for employment. Usually, the employers will require you that you provide the certificate as proof that you have undergone the education, you have taken the primary or secondary education examinations. Let's move on. We are going to look at who is eligible to apply for a replacement of KCPE KCSE certificate. And these are all candidates who have sat for their Kenya national examinations and lost their certificates for Kenya Certificate of Primary Education or Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. So here we can see that the first criteria is that you have to have sat for the Kenya national examination, and number two, you need to have been issued with the certificate, and number three, you need to have lost the certificate. You also need to take note that it is an offense to apply for a replacement of either the KCPE or KCSE certificate if it's not lost. Let's move on. The required documents which are required during the application is number one, a copy of the certificates, a photocopy of it, or the result slip. Number two, you need a letter of recommendation from the head teacher of the school which you attended, or if you are a private candidate, or if the school which you did your examinations from has closed down, you can approach the district education offices and they ask for the district education officer to write you a letter of recommendation. You also need a sworn legal affidavit proving your identity. You also need a letter of recommendation from the employer. In this case, it's the employer who is requesting for the document. You also need a police abstract indicating the loss of the certificate. Remember, as we pointed out earlier, that it is an offense to apply for a replacement of the certificate if the certificate is not lost. You also need the NEC bank deposit slip, which is proof of payment. This receipt you're going to be issued after paying the required fees at the bank. You're going to talk about this later on. And you also need a copy of your national identity card. Let's move on. These are the steps to follow while making the procedure. First of all, you need to note that the application can only be done in person. You need to first visit the Kenya National Examination Council offices to make the applications. Here, you'll be given a NEC certificate replacement form to fill. And I've gone ahead and put this link here so you can have an idea of how the certificate, the application form looks like. As I've mentioned, the forms can only be provided at the NEC offices, but I have gone ahead and obtained this copy so you can have a rough idea on what to expect. So this is how the form looks like. You need to give in your personal information, fill in your personal information. They have given you a checklist of the documents which you need to attach. We've already gone through these documents. They have given you details on where of the fees payable, which is 5,800, and where you can go to make the payments. They have mentioned 4 banks here. They have also give you special notes, the do's and don'ts while making the applications, and they've also given you stern warnings. Yeah, so basically this is how the forms looks like, and you can download the form through the link provided below. Okay, now let's get back. After being given the form, you need to fill it carefully and attach the relevant documents which you've already mentioned. You need to pay the appropriate fees, which is a total of 5,800 per certificate. You need to submit the duly filled form together with the required documents and the payment receipt to the following address. You need to address it to the Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya National Examination Council. And after lodging the application, the certificates are usually ready for collection after a duration of 60 working days from the NEC offices. You need to collect your certificate in person. As it is mentioned here, the replacement certificates should be collected in person by the owner, and you need to provide proof of identification while collecting your certificates. You need to provide a passport or your identification card. And in the case of minors, the minor needs to be accompanied by either a parent or a guardian, and the parent or guardian should provide an identification document. Let's move on. The applicable fees, a total of 5,800 is charged for the certificate, 5,000 for the replacement certificate, and 16% VAT, which is 800 shillings, and totaling to 5,800 for the certificate. The fees should be paid at the next collection accounts in any of the following banks. We have Equity Bank, Cooperative Bank, National Bank of Kenya, and Commercial Bank of Kenya. The deposits, bank deposit slips are available at this bank, so all you need to do is just visit the customer care and say that you have to pay for the replacement fees to the NEC accounts, and you'll be issued with the deposit slip. The validity period of these certificates is forever. Once they are issued, they are valid forever. And the processing time, as we have already mentioned, they take 60 working days from the time that you have lodged the application. The office location and contacts of the Kenya National Examination Council. The offices are located at Aga Khan Walk in Nairobi at the National Housing Corporation House. We have the telephone numbers that are provided here, the mobile phone numbers. We have the email address and the NEC website. You can also visit the NEC website and visit the FAQ section where you can find out more on the frequently asked questions. And other information which may help is that you must appear in person and you should collect the certificate in person. A certificate must be collected within 2 years, otherwise it might be disposed of without communication. Yeah, this is very important, that you should note that also the replacements are done once only. So if you don't collect your certificate within 2 hours after you have been given a replacement, you will not be able to be issued with another replacement. So it's very important that you collect your certificate within 2 years. The applicant must be aware that once payment is made, there shall be no refund. Applicant must ensure that their certificates are lost or destroyed before making the application. And NEC does not accept checks, and the replacements are done once only. And yeah, there we have it. That's the procedure of making the application. And if you have liked the procedure, you can visit us at www.wikiprocedure.com, or you can like our video at our YouTube page so we can be able to continue making more videos. That's Wiki Procedure. Hit the subscribe button and like the video below. Okay, thank you and have